and see what's happening in the world of football. One key topic would be that of the Super 8. Akwa United doing quite well, qualifying for the semi-finals despite losing their last game yesterday. It was a sorry side. Akwa United lost 2-0 to Lobby Stars. We'll also talk about the position of Calvin Bassey, Nigerian defender. Despite having a torrid season at Ajax, Calvin Bassey has said he's not ready to leave Ajax. Their basic talking point regarding the World Cup, the Women's World Cup that is coming, come 20th July, barely 2 weeks from now. It's going to be up and running and the excitement would be up. And the conversation would be what gets to happen for Nigeria. Nigeria is set to play a friendly game against an Australian side, a decent side, a top side in Australia in preparation for the World Cup. And we also hear that advances are there, discussions are there at the 45th Ordinary Assembly of CAF in Ivory Coast, Abidjan in particular. The discussion would be about the qualifiers, the main draw for the qualifiers, and top weeks from the NFF, and Yosef Pisero, Nigeria's coach, is in Abidjan regarding this. My name is Blyden Kayman, it's a football fans attack. I have top guys in the mix with me who are going to do the magic moving forward. Emmanuel Quere, good to have you on the show, and Itogo, exceptional to have you on the show.
Good afternoon, Blyden. Good afternoon, Emmanuel Quere. Good afternoon, Akwa Ibom State.
It's always a pleasure, Blyden.
All right, good to hear from Emmanuel talking. Well, let's get to the talking point, beginning from the home scene. The Niger Super 8 and the performances of the last. Well, yesterday we had that a brace from Joseph Atulu and Lobby Stars, a 2-0 win against Akwa United in the Group B clash at the maiden Niger Super 8 competition. Lobby have joined Akwa United in the last 4 of the Super 8 tournament, and it makes a lot of sense from that angle. Disappointing game it was, but a good start for Fataya Show. Emmanuel, let me come to you now. Decent performances have had since he took over the ranks. Won the first 2 games, the third game they lost to Lobby Stars, but they've qualified. Talk to us about the future in this one. What gets to happen moving forward, considering there's huge prize money in it, £25 million. Million naira rather than pounds. That'll be so big.
I don't think we need to compete in the next league again. Well, I think to me, I think it's very important that we appreciate the fact that the management were able to bring in a top shot like a Fatayo show into the team. It's very important they were able to bring in someone with such wealth of experience and such background. So to me, I'm very grateful and I'm happy for that. But also, of course, we've seen 2 sides in the Super 8. We've seen the good side, we've seen how bad they can perform, and we've seen how good they could be. So I think it's very important that they are supposed to build up on the good momentum they've already started with, and it's very important that they're able to build up with a good start. And also I think it's very important that with what we've seen here, I think to me, I believe that Fatayo show it's going to do well in the league, because I think what he needs is just the management to be able to give him the free hand to be able to run the team. We know how a good coach he is. We know what he's capable of doing. We know Fatayo show is not a man of today. So of course it's very important that the management gives him the free hand to run the team. And I believe that, of course, with him, I believe good things are going to come to the team, definitely.
Good things are going to come to the team, and the excitement would be up for the side. Let me come to you. Looking at the next level of this competition now, the price tag is huge. They have to find a way to win it. There are other decent teams. We've talked about Lobby Stars already. Also, Sporting FC of Lagos, the qualified. We're talking about the likes of Katsina United still in the mix. It's the semi-finals moving forward. What are the expectations for Akwa United, and how difficult can it get? Can they go all the way to win this one?
Blyden, I want to start from where Emmanuel Quere stopped, because I think for me, the coaches needed to do a kind of rotation, trying to see the kind of player that he needed to keep for the next season. But for me, what he did was very marvelous, away from the result, because we all know that Akwa United was one of the first team that qualified for the next round of games. I know very well that this this is what we wanted. This is what, because the coach is a new coach, coming to a new environment, coming to a new system. I think he needs to understand the kind of player that will suit into his philosophy. But that was what he did. I believe he was able to get his wisdom done. I think a couple of players, even wisdom Fernando was the point number 9 there, which it was wasteful for me. But I think he was able to know what he wanted. But moving forward, as you are saying, the competition is getting higher. I know a lot of expectation is coming from Akwa Ibom and the club. Now, this is what we wanted. We want them to make sure that, because I believe that we don't need to tell the coach what the coach needs to do, because he knows his own. He knows his first 11 from now. Cyril Desema is one of the key players that anytime, any day, he will be able to cement his place. But what we are expecting, we want him to maybe probably give us a result, because Katsina United, a team that just returned from relegation, is not a pushover team. A team like Sporting Lagos, we have seen what they have done so far. So the 4 teams that have qualified to the next level, they are here for business. And Akwa United, if they want to get this business done, they have to make sure their attack is very brilliant, the midfielder is very solid, and every defender, every player will be able to give their 100% in their match.
Talking about 100%. Well, there have been conversation recent times about the World Cup and opportunities in the World Cup moving forward. And one of those conversations would be the 2026 World Cup. It's holding right now the 45th ordinary meeting of CAF. It's holding right now in Abidjan. And one of it could be that Super Eagles gaffer Joseph Pizarro and the president of Nigerian Football Federation, NFF, Ibrahim Gasso, are expected to grace this occasion. And the conversation is all about these particular games that will be taking place. They want to do the draw, a favorable draw for the qualification series of the World Cup 2026. Remember last time out, Nigeria could not qualify for the World Cup, losing to Ghana. And the conversation about the World Cup draw is Nigeria is in pot 1. And the World Cup involves 9 groups. And in these groups are 6 teams per group. Nigeria would be in pot 1. But the shocking part would be the teams within pot 2. Let me just give a tidbit of the teams within pot 2. It could be Ghana, it could be South Africa. I think they are the strongest side, and Angola being in pot 2, and others and others. Now the conversation is this, Ekwere, I'll begin with you. That the best team in this group gets to qualify directly to an expanded edition of the World Cup in 2026. 4 best losers also follow suit. They'll play a playoff tournament, and the winner of that playoff tournament will get to play another playoff tournament, maybe with an Asian side or other side. And if they qualify, they make African slot at the World Cup 10. Nigeria, can we do it? We've seen the decline. The conversation about bonuses here and there. The conversation about disappointment from a Nigerian point of view. Can we do it?
Well, talking about World Cup, we already missed the last World Cup. I think that's already a blow to our personality, to our nationality already. And I think it's a really sad thing that as Giants of Africa, we couldn't be there at the World Cup. I think to me it was an embarrassing show for us. But I think we should get past that now and be able to move forward towards the next World Cup.
What are the indices?
Well, looking at it now, from the performances we have seen, we cannot say that we are ready for the World Cup, for the next World Cup. Absolutely. No Nigerian in looking at what we are seeing right now can say that we are absolutely ready. First of all, the choices of coaches we make. We see what we're doing. We brought in Joseph Pizarro. We can see his record. It's not at all a good record. This is not the kind of record that you can use to go to the World Cup. You can see the kind of matches we've played with the AFCON qualifiers. We can see what we did, in just trying to buff up and trying to get, struggle to get scores, struggle to get results in matches. So I think it's really important that with the array of players that we have in the team, I think we should do better. And of course, it's very important that if Africa, this is a time for us to step up into the world map of football and try as much as possible to also try and show our dominance. And I pray that, of course, our government are able to invest properly into this to try and make this thing work for us.
We hope the government get to invest according to inquiry to get this thing work for us. But let me come to you. Looking at the Super Eagles now and how our preparation towards the World Cup has been, sometimes we can call it shambles. And now at the expanded level of the World Cup, many would think it could be an easy feat for Super Eagles of Nigeria to qualify for the World Cup, considering it's a team span of 9 qualifying for the World Cup. It's a conversation, but do you have any doubts?
I don't have any doubt in me that the boys are going to do well, because first of all, we need to pray that we will not meet Ghana, the likes of Ghana and South Africa, because they are, from my own statistics, I think they are way higher than Nigeria, and when it comes to the pattern they played, because our coaches is not doing very well. This is one of the manager that I think for me it's one of the worst coach in my own dictionary. Is one of the worst coach. So I think if we get to maybe probably have an easy spot, get to qualify, I think we will not be able to go further because of the kind of the manager we have. Not like the players are not good. Some of these players are very fantastic. They've been doing very decently in their various clubs, but coming to Nigeria, what happened? It clearly shows you that the managers that we are having are not competent enough.
Well, the managers we're having are not competent, according to IT. Well, Equerry, let's talk about something. There's been conversation about bonuses for the Super Falcons, and it's been in and around the scene. Recently, the captain of the side, Nomebi, came out to say there won't be any fracas at the World Cup. There won't be protests at the World Cup. We're already having teams like England complain about bonuses because FIFA had said every football player at the Women's World Cup will earn $30,000 just for appearance. If you get to the finals, you earn $270,000. And there are fears within the Nigerian setup because the coach of the side, Randy Waldrum, came out to say that there might be protests. The players have not been paid their bonuses for over 2 years. But the House of Reps now have called the NFF. They want to have a conversation, a probe into the matter. How come you've not paid these players for 2 years? Where is the money?
I think it's not just those appearances bonuses that the House of Reps should call the NFF into. I think there are a lot of issues going down in the NFF that, you know, I think it's high time that probe should be. It's high time that the probe should come, because the corruption level at the NFF is quite outstanding. It's tough, because I don't see any reason why, when FIFA makes a certain statement, you know, when it gets to time, you know, for the country, for the football association of the country to be able to, you know, enact those policies and all those promises set by FIFA, it becomes a story. It becomes a matter of protest. It shouldn't even lead to anything concerning protest. It shouldn't even be a matter of protest. I think this is a straightforward matter. Bring out that money and pay these players. These people, they are professionals. They don't just wake up in the morning and do these things. These are people who train for this their whole lives. These are people who dedicate their time. They dedicate their personal space and do this thing for the country. It's not just for their own. This is actually coming out from, you know, their own club time, their own, you know, personal life. They are coming to represent the country, and it shouldn't be a case of we receive the money or we are going to. It should be a case that the players are there and they are receiving their money. These players, the players that we have seen in the Nigerian Super Falcons squad, I think we barely even have any player from the homegrown home-based team from the home scene, and it's very important that if you cannot, you know, satisfy these players with their appearances fee at least, it's really going to speak bad. I think we are really going to lose a lot of players in time to come, because with this kind of performance, players are not going to be turning up for the matches. They prefer to you know, represent other countries, and with that, you're going to lose the level of football you have. You're going to lose your status. You're going to lose your performance. You're going to lose your integrity. So it's very important that the NFF, the House of Reps rather, should probe the NFF and try as much as possible to make sure that they bring in these people, to make sure that, you know, they make this. They have to know what's going on.
All right.
You really have to know what's going on with the NFF.
All right.
It's a really scary matter, honestly. It's a really scary matter.
It's an unfolding conversation, I think.
Yeah, of course.
And it's been in around the scene, and not just affecting the Super Falcons. It's also a problem for the Super Eagles of Nigeria, because the coaches
it's a problem for the Nigerian.
It's a Nigerian problem, definitely. But we hear the Super Falcons will be having a game against an Australian side, the Queensland Lions. The Queen's Club Lions will be having that game on Saturday. They're fourth on the ranks, and they'll be preparing for the tournament, a preparatory competition for them. Is that a good enough competitive game? Let's start the conversation from there. This team are currently fourth in the Australian League, and they have 27 points. They've won the league 3 times. But talking about the preparations of the last, the girls, is the first one for them moving forward in readiness to face Canada, the Olympic champions.
Blyden, I think I need to start from where Emmanuel just ended. I think for me, if Onome, the captain, has just said that the team, everybody is in a very good spirit. I think it's okay for me. But playing that kind of friendly match, which you know very well that you will be facing, probably if you get to qualify from the round of 16, you'll be facing more tough team. I think for me, that kind of friendly, irrespective of their record, irrespective of their lorries that their opponents are cheap or sometime, is not for me. It's not the best decision for me. Look at a team like Zambia. I think Zambia is in the tournament. They played their friendly against Germany, which they won 3-2, and these are the very decent competition that we are looking for. You need to play maybe probably a country that is not in the same group with you. Test it, get to check.
They're already in Australia, so you can't afford to be moving here and there. And sometimes you look at this competition, the conversation would be this: IT. They have to avoid injuries. They have to be careful. It's not
Zambia played, they didn't have injury.
Yeah, it wasn't so close to the World Cup at least. But the conversation now is they're preparing for the World Cup. A warm-up game, they call it. Not a very serious game.
Now we now see the reason why our coach Wardrum came out and said that the NFF is one of the issues that revolve in the circle, in the club circle, because he did came out and said that maybe if there was maybe enough money for them to maybe get this kind of friendly game, I think it would have helped a lot. But now we have seen the reason. But for me, since they are there, there's no need of going back. They need to face the reality. What is the reality? Is the World Cup. I just assume, I just prayed also, because for me, I don't expect anything from the coach, but I just wish that they will give us a good outing from the tournament that we are expecting in barely how many 12 or 10 days to go.
Well, in the coming days, we'll get to talk about what the outcome could be at the World Cup for the Super Falcons. The last time the Super Falcons got to a heightened level, despite being 11-time champions in the African scene, was in 1999, thereabout. They got to the quarterfinals of the World Cup. Since then, they've not been able to do anything about qualifying and showing dominance at the World Cup. It's an unfolding conversation, and a good time for you to join the conversation and share your thoughts. Let's hear your opinions. What is happening with the Falcons, the Super Eagles of Nigeria? Also the probe from the House of Reps. The numbers to call are 090-222-31011, 0817-6248-565. Hit the numbers, get the call coming. Let's get to hear your views on these issues and the matter. Can the Super Eagles survive if they get to face Ghana again? Can the Super Eagles do the magic? What are the possibilities moving forward? Good afternoon, it's Blyden. Victor, the Sport Oracle. Emmanuel Aquare and IT.
Just make it to Clarence. Let me talk about the confrontation that is on the ground. The issue of the FIFA have been coming in, because there are so many men and talk concerning the way the NFF has been treated. Their teams, the Falcon, the Super Eagles, and coaches not being paid. So it's not that nice, because if you see what the FIFA always did to us here, giving us money to fund, we want a good football. So for these people to come out and complain, it's not a part and parcel in football rules and rugby. So I don't know how the National Assembly and FIFA will be able to, how they can hold these people and so that they can get this one. And for the Super Falcons, let them prepare well for the FIFA Women's World Cup. That's my thing. Thank you, Pastor.
Thank you for calling on the show, Victor, the Sports Oracle. Keep the calls coming. Let's have the conversation and see what happens next. Guys, there have been serious conversation in and around the scene, especially from Europe, and the excitements have been up. One of those shocking conversations would be what we talk about next, but let's have this call. Hello, good afternoon. Good afternoon, what's the name?
Yeah, my name is John Curry, calling from Ikodipine.
Welcome, Brown.
Thank you. In the case of the Super Eagles, I don't really think he's actually the management that is causing the whole lot of issues that we are having right now. And the only thing there is that the Super Eagles team is getting to a cycle. How many professional owners we have there? They will call all of them the professionals, but how many of them are playing in the top level club, like Victor Osimhen? Because to me, it's only Victor Osimhen that I see in that team that I can actually call a complete professional football player. Now, talking about if they can survive in World Cup, the reason the Super Eagles haven't been able to go through after having been doing well in the World Cup is because when they are playing these qualifiers, they are supposed to meet a team like Guinea-Bissau. Yes, Guinea-Bissau. All these small things that we do, the sector things like that. Because for going out loud, is that a thing that you're supposed to play when you know that you are not facing a very big team like to be facing with teams like Germany, Spain, Uruguay, and other top countries like that. Come on, they just have to be making this thing, making the qualifiers more tough for them to be completely ready.
Thank you.
Little things like that.
All right.
There's no commitment at all, so they can never go far. That's my
Thank you. You made your point. Thank you. One conversation has always been the quality of players we have at the national team.
Absolutely.
He's saying we do not have enough quality at the national team compared to the rest. But the other aspect of the conversation, as of yesterday when we talked about, was the fact that when you look at the 2013 team that won the African Cup of Nations and put side by side with the current crop of Super Eagles, based on that club size, definitely we have a better Super Eagles now compared to that won the 2013 Nations Cup.
Well, absolutely. I believe that. Yes, of course. Because from what we have seen the players doing now, our current squad doing now, we have the likes of Osimhen, Chukwueze, Moses Simon, Iheanacho. I think, of course, they're
top professionals.
They're top professionals, top clubs as well representing. So, of course.
All right. Hello, good afternoon. It's a football fans attack.
Thank you.
What's your name? Okay. Go ahead. My son is slightly busy. He'll be back. He'll join us very soon. But if he cannot join us, he'll be around tomorrow.
I'm waiting to hear from him. Thank you. I want to say that Nigerian football associations are always making fun of themselves. They are always pushing their ego on the outside, always and always. And always making Nigeria and Nigerians as a whole to become something else in other people's eyes. I mean, what is there that enables them to make sure they pay their bonuses so they will not protest? What is there for them to appoint an additional coach that will be able to put the right legs, to be able to confront any different country, any different team, so we will qualify even with 2 games to spend. But every time we'll be struggling. Last time we didn't qualify for the World Cup. So for the country, Kenya, South Africa, we claim today.
All right.
I mean, we have to put something. It's not that champion. He was at the International of England. He's currently taking that trip. But please understand this man and bring him initial coach.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. He's saying Josep Pizarro should be sacked. Randy Waldrum should be sacked. Sometimes it's quite difficult to sack coaches all the time. You have to organize your setup. Biggest problem now is money, and the conversation would be from an NFF point of view. We don't have money. The Rapes want to prove that.
I think for me, we have money when it comes to football in Nigeria, because I think they have ministry that supervise that union. I think once in a year they get to present their budget to the National Assembly. So we have money. For me, I think we should. Well, I was one of the player or one of the fans that said we should sack these coaches because they are now qualified when it comes to their pedigree. They don't match. So better. What are we spending money for? We can have those local. we have a local coaches here, which we can easily pay them less money, and we will be able to give them 3 to 4 years, and before you know, they will look like Ali Cisse of Senegal.
All right. Well, it's an unfolding conversation, and the structure continues. Hello, good afternoon.
Thank you. Good afternoon.
Top Ghana, welcome.
Thank you, Chief. Can you give us a bit about NSF? Isn't the motor design? Our football is not getting better with the way things are going. I guess you are aware that around the World Cup can bring a better performance in this outing. The players are calling him what coach. Everything is about money. How can you continue to have not paid the ladies? But no more people just come out because this is our last World Cup. You don't want to have issues with the NFF. And if the coach they need to do this, I don't know the language to qualify the coaches they need to bring to Nigeria. I'm telling the truth. Are you aware that this guy has finished? I mean, Chapitero, he contacted the 10 days ago, and now they are trying to bring the next coach to create a Babo opportunity. They are not running down the clock of outreach. It's time for me to clean up the mess in the next day. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for calling on the show, Top Ghana. Always an insightful moment with you. Thank you for calling on the show. Let's look at one of the aspects of this conversation. Randy Waldrum came out to say, when they had that debacle with the NFF, that there's a huge pool of money that FIFA gave, about $960,000 in preparation for the World Cup, and it's been shared to all the teams. And the question was, where is this money? Well, we know they'll have to give answers to that today. Well, let's get to further talking points and move to Europe and see the events unfolding in other climes. Not necessarily Europe alone, even in Asia. The Saudi are quite dominant now in the market, and we're talking about. One conversation we've had, or talking point, has been that FIFA has confirmed that El Nassr is currently banned from registering new players. The World Football Governing Body also noted that the ban will be lifted if the Saudi Arabia Pro League club settles the debt they owe Leicester City. El Nassr has failed to pay the Premier League club the money they owe them for Ahmed Musa's transfer. It happened in 2018. Musa signed for the Knights. It was a 16.5 million euros deal in 2018, shortly after that impression he gave at the World Cup, that decent performance, if you remember. While El Nassr has paid the transfer fee, they are yet to pay the Foxes 460,000 euros in performance-related add-ons. They've paid the transfer fee, but performance-related add-ons. Ahmed Musa did perform well. Won the Saudi Pro League with them at, I think, around 2020. And they've not paid the add-ons. They've refused to pay the add-ons. And FIFA is saying you can't make further signings now. Before you come in, Emmanuel, let's look at a picture. They started the Saudi raid, El Nassr, Cristiano Ronaldo joining them, humongous amounts of money. Currently,
from their coach, actually, Rudy Garcia.
Absolutely. And currently, another player had joined them, Brozovic, the Croatian, had joined them. They were also looking at signing Hakim Ziyech. I make that debacle with Hakim Ziyech, but now they're being fined and banned. Or banned, not fined, they're being banned from continuing signings.
Well, I think it's a very sad case because to me, I don't think money is the problem. Money can be the problem. I doubt absolutely, but I think maybe to me it's just an oversight. I think from the accountants. I think
you make it sound like you are the accountant.
I think so.
Because look at it. These people, they are dashing out 50M to Ronaldo every year. What is 480,000 for performance?
Well, it could happen. Let's just look at it and say, come on, we can't be giving you that money.
Oh, this guy won the league for you, so I think of course you have to pay it, and it's very good that FIFA is actually keeping an eye on them actually in the Saudi league, because I talked about this thing one time. I said, of course, these people should be looked at, and they should actually be regulated and something, and try to look at what is happening with them. You try to understand how they are spending their money. So it's actually good that most of these brands are coming in, and of course it's giving people time to regroup and try to do some other things while they're out of the market for a while.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think let's talk about some other different topic. It's been an enabling topic. Calvin Bassey, Nigerian defender. When he left Rangers, there were big speculation about his talent, what he could do moving forward for Ajax Amsterdam. But last season wasn't the best of season for him. Virtually everybody in Netherlands blamed him for the poor performance in Ajax. And there were speculations he could join the likes of Brighton, who've been asking for his hand. Not in marriage this time, but they want to sign him.
Yeah.
But the conversation is, Calvin Bassey has come out to say, I'm not going anywhere. I'm sticking with Ajax. You think it's a good decision? When you look at the likes of Brighton, ready to sign him if the deal gets to pull through at the end of it and playing in the English Premier League.
For me, I think it's a good decision because, okay, let's take, I want to take your mind back to some years ago, or some years ago, yeah, what happened to Paul Onacho when he left Belgian League to Premier League. What happened at the end? They were relegated. So I think for me, the young lad wants to still prove himself that, okay, maybe I had a very worst season, I have a very terrible season. It is time for me to stick to the team. It is time for me to prove to the team that I'm still the big man here. I'm still the big defender here, irrespective of where I get to play, irrespective of the manager that who is to manage the club. I can still prove to the whole Ajax and the fans that he can still do well. For me, I think he should stay and face the competition. He should stay and face the club. He should stay and face the tournament, not to run away. Because there is a popular saying that says, he who fights and run needs to fight another day. So he needs to stick and fight. Maybe probably when he conquers, he should be able to move to.
What if it doesn't end up working for him and he moves to the English Premier League?
I think one thing that really stands for me during his decision that he made is it's about the confidence. He has the confidence. Maybe he will be able to do it. Because for me, I think he shouldn't come to Brighton. Coming to Brighton, you might not even make up the starting 11. However, you might not even be in the list self. You can be loaned out. So I think for me, he has the opportunity to stay in Ajax. Let him stay in Ajax and prove himself. Which I know he will be able to prove himself to the whole world. Because I think also Ajax also favors a couple of Nigerians years back. So if he gets to stay the second time, maybe he will prove a point to the whole world that he's the best player.
When we're saying yes back, that is 1995, a long time ago. Kano Wampo Finidi George.
Well, I think, let me take a little bite on it.
Okay, go ahead.
I think, to me, this is a very good opportunity for Calvin Bassey. He should have gone to Brighton for me, absolutely, because looking at what we're seeing in Brighton, the amount of stars we see there, the young stars we're seeing there, with what Roberto De Zerbi is doing, I think it's a very fundamental business they're doing there. It's a very important business they're doing there, and it's to me it's a very good, it's a very good vicinity environment for him to be able to, have that competition. The likes of Colwill is there, the likes of Louis Dunk is there. It's a very good environment, and it's also England. So you can also definitely develop your game. You can also definitely play top class football there. You can also be at the top level. So
finally, a man has to take his decision.
Yeah, of course. It's not a bad decision. Ajax is a very big,
decent side.
It's a very decent
always
side,
playing European competition.
But we're talking about the future. Of course, we're talking about the future. Definitely, it may work.
But it can also be quite difficult at Brighton. Look at the stars in that team.
Yeah,
how difficult it
to me, I feel he needs that competition.
Okay.
I feel he needs that competition,
but
because
there's still competition in Ajax.
And looking at Ajax, Ajax just lost Jerry Timber, who was like the best defender there also.
Okay.
I think to me it's little or less competition. Maybe he's trying to take advantage of the fact that Timber has gone, and of course he has that time and space. You understand, to fill in.
Let's look at another Nigerian who's done quite well, I think, quickly. Won't take long on this one. His name is Leon Balogun. We saw the era where Leon Balogun was the star man, quality player. We used to call them a Yubo backline at the time. Leon Balogun and Ekong for Nigeria. But it's not really added up for Leon Balogun in recent times, especially after leaving Rangers. Left Rangers, moved to QPR, championship side, made with injury. And at the time he left Rangers, when they got to the finals of the Europa League, there were the likes of Calvin Bassey in that team. He was thought to be surplus to requirement at 35 years of age, recovering from injury, and now he's back to Rangers. What a moment it is. What does this show, first of all? Two point of view in this one. One of it would be good moment for the man, returning to a club he loved and played and quite performed well. But on the other hand, does it get to show emptiness, a weaker Rangers team at the moment?
I think for me, he knows why he wants to move to Ajax. Maybe probably we are
Rangers.
Rangers, I beg for pardon, and because of maybe he does not really show his capability. He has ability in other clubs, but seeing him moving to Rangers, I think maybe he's trying to revive his team. Maybe playing for 1 or 2 seasons in Rangers, but probably at the end he could call it a wrap. Because I think for me, it's high time for him to go. Maybe. If I were to be in his shoe, I would advise him, maybe I would have moved to Saudi Arabia, because how many years do you have to stay there? Seriously, that is where you can make your money. So why are you there? You are just there for maybe because of the fans love you, people love you there. But I think he's his own decision. He has made his own decision. Let him go there. Maybe probably, who knows tomorrow. But for me, I think it's a high time for him to move to Saudi Arabia.
Let's just take one other talking point before the calls keep coming in. Regarding events unfolding in the foreign scene, the many transfer stories. We get to look at the transfers in a moment. But Emmanuel, the biggest thing about World Cup and clubs representation, Manchester City is to receive the highest pay in bonus from FIFA for releasing players for the 2022 World Cup in Qatar. According to certain reports published on Thursday, which is today, Manchester City is to receive $4,596,445 thanks to FIFA's club benefit program. Barcelona will receive the second highest amount of $4,538,955, followed by Bayern Munich with $4,331,809. It's a conversation about having decent players and having representation at the World Cup. This thing FIFA is doing, sharing lots of money from clubs to countries, makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Man City released a lot of players, absolutely. That one, no one can deny it. We saw the likes of Mahrez, we saw the likes of Sergio Gomez. We saw some players from Man City, they were able to leave and represent at the World Cup. The English boys, Calvin Phillips and Grealish. We saw Gundogan as well. We saw a couple of players, De Bruyne. So I think to me it's an encouragement. I think it's something that other clubs can look up to and say yes. That's a big amount of money. Of course, it's going to cover a lot of bills. It's going to cover a lot of expenses, and of course, it's something that every club should, try as much as possible to make sure that they're following in that steps and try as much as possible to let the players enjoy their national football. It's not. We've had cases whereby clubs have been holding players back from representing their country several times, and of course, it always ends up being an issue with them, dragging them to court and all that. But then, it's something that it shouldn't even be a thing of question. It shouldn't even be a thing of argument. Clubs should allow players to enjoy their national life and national duties as well.
Of those talking points from the preseason was the fact that Manchester United took on Leeds United at Oslo, and it made a lot of sense, scoring 2 goals in favor of Manchester against Leeds United. Well, I'm happy I have a Manchester United fan here who gave us insight in this one. But one of the talking points would be that Erik ten Hag came out to say Mason Mount is a complete midfielder. It's where we've had this thing happen time and time again. Last season it was the same thing. Manchester United scored some decent goals at the preseason, and everyone thought it was going to work out like that during the regular season, the normal season, when the season started, but it never happened. Boom, first game beaten by top sides like Brentford and Brighton. They had to go call Casemiro. They can't come and help us. Are we in that mode again?
Well, I think what we've said, I think to me, yesterday, the first team that played was kind of like the first, part of the first team, and an involvement of Mason Mount. And I think yesterday was just a reminder of what Mason Mount can actually do. He had a very decent first 45 minutes. It was actually important to see him play that well, and of course, seeing the second 45 minutes, I think the youngsters, the likes of Amad Diallo, Hannibal Mejbri, and the boys that scored as well. Noam Emren and Jay Hugel. I think it's very important for be able to see those boys. They were able to play the Ten Hag style, which is very important to see. Always pressing,
we have the Ten Hag style now.
Of course, definitely.
Most people say there's no real style at Manchester United.
And then they don't watch football, because I think I think it's very obvious that, of course, you see, they like to hold the ball, they like to press forward, they like to, always attack. So I think it's very important that
okay.
Yeah, of course.
I think looking at the structure of Manchester United now, considering the fact that they don't have lots of money to make signings this season after signing Mason Mount, £55 million. The other part of the remaining £120 million they had left based on the embargo on financial regulations would be about £65 million now. And who to spend it on? They've been touching one player or the other, can't even conclude on Onana. We hear maybe the likes of Dean Henderson might continue next season. But we'll get to talk about it in the transfers moving forward. What you saw yesterday. If they have to stick with this team moving forward, what's the future for Manchester United in the English Premier League?
Well, the future for them
next season.
Next season, the future for them is just to be around the Champions League spots, because in my own opinion, I think they need the point number 9, and Rashford cannot give them that. A couple of players, they being there. I think the more you play this ball, the more you get to meet the biggest team, like Manchester City, Liverpool, that they've made a lot of recruitment. Arsenal, which is they're about to make a couple of signing. I mean, Rice and a couple of players. So I think for me, it's not about playing Leeds United and you are shouting, "Oh, we have won, we have won." You need to play the big team, and when you play the big team, that's where we get to know you are ready for the business.
All right, let's get to the phone lines. Afterwards, Aquara will get us to Facebook, and let's see what the comments on Facebook are, and we'll do a bit of transfer before we close.
Anige. Chelsea transfers, both incoming and outgoing players. I haven't been following for a while, just returning. Welcome back. And lastly, from Thiago Jr., this is great. Update me about the Chelsea transfer. Update me with the Chelsea transfer about Trevor Chalobah. And the deal is almost done. The deal is almost done, and personal terms agreed as well.
All right, thank you, Emmanuel. Yeah. Let's get a call. Hello, good afternoon. Welcome to the show. Hello?
Hello, please, are you hearing me?
Go ahead, yes.
I think which teams are playing tomorrow?
Well, we'll look that up for you and get you updated on it.
Okay.
All right, thank you for coming on the show.